if y'all are in the mood for some romance, but I most certainly am. Hi everyone, I'm Margaret. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I am going to be doing the Try a Chapter Challenge. So every year, I make a reading goal to cut down on my physical TBR, and then I never do that. It's always like more books on the physical TBR, and I just feel like maybe we should change that. Maybe this year should be different. I figured what better way to do that than to go through at least some of these books and read the first chapter to see if I even still want to read these books. Today, I have picked out all of the contemporary romances on my physical TBR, and I am going to be trying the first chapter of each one to see if it's staying, if it's going, and also see which one is going with me on my trip. A couple of disclaimers before I get into this. I am just seeing which ones pique my interest and whether or not I want to keep those books. If I end up not being wowed by a first chapter, I'm not saying it's a bad book, I'm just saying that first chapter didn't grab me. Number two, doesn't mean I may never get to these books, it just means that they are going to be leaving this TBR and going elsewhere in the world. That's what's going to be happening. I may still get to them at some point in time if my interest gets piqued later. Let me tell you the 10 books that I picked. Yes, it was an even 10. I was very satisfied with that, actually. That was really kind of nice. We have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert, Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie, Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett. We also have Well Met by Jen DeLuca, Beach Read by Emily Henry, The Marriage Game by Sarah Desai, Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella, The Trouble with Hating You by Sajni Patel, Undercover Bromance by Lissa K. Adams, and Party of Two by Jasmine Guillory. I'll wait to tell y'all more about these books until I have actually gotten into the books. Speaking of which, let's get into the books.
I love the way you take it slow. You make this light inside me glow. You're the only one who knows me. Saturate me when I'm gray until all my colors show. I get lost in those hazy eyes. I'm in love with these lazy nights. So maybe we can stay back, lay back here and enjoy the ride. I don't wanna feel the night. I just wanna chill under the northern lights with you, with you. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Sadie, you save me, keep me from floating away.
Checking in because we've read 3 books and I figured I'd just do this in batches instead of doing it all at once. So, books I just read, we've got Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This is following 2 teens who, if I remember correctly, they were friends and then they had a falling out and now they hate each other's guts and they end up having to, like, we didn't get to that part, but like they're both interested in this wilderness program that could do things for them as they are going into their post-high school careers, like doing college, planning for like what happens after college, all of that good stuff. I enjoyed this. Like, this had me just like, Talia's sense of humor is so good. I love it. I have so much fun. This is currently number 1 out of the books that I read. I enjoyed it. If I were to pick off of these 3, this is the one that I would be taking with me and reading. The second book that I've read so far is Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie. This is about Ophelia, and she is a garden. She is a garden-loving girl who, like, she grows roses, as you can see on the cover. They're leading up to prom. She doesn't have a date for prom, and she's been increasingly kind of picturing this girl she knows from class in her kind of daydreams about what prom will be like. And she is navigating the fact that she may also like girls. And she's not sure how she feels about that. Like, she hasn't gotten there yet, but like, it's definitely, the thought process is, why do I feel this way? This was cute. I love the dynamics between the friend group here. There is some like potential messiness that is about to happen. So I'm very excited to see where this goes. However, I can only choose so many books. So this is going to go after highly suspicious and unfairly cute. And then we have a little bit of what sounds like a Romeo and Juliet situation in Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett. So we're following Zori, and she is, like, her dad is a masseuse, her mom is an acupuncturist. They have this little wellness shop in, I think it's California, and so we've just met her, gotten to know her a little bit, like what her plans are for the summer, and they have been thrown into disarray because her mom's like, hey, I think you should go camping with this girl that you used to go friends with. Glamping, it's actually glamping, but that's important. She's like, I think you should go camping with this girl that you used to be friends with, and to see about that. This one, it was good. I think I'm going to definitely enjoy reading it because it feels like there's a little bit of a, like, rivals to lovers or enemies to, like, they were friends and then they're enemies and then they are, like, going to be getting closer again, I assume, over this camping trip with this popular girl who is inviting a whole bunch of people to go glamping with her, like, from high school, and her mom has scored her an invite. I liked the other book, Jen Bennett book I read, which is Alex Approximately. I enjoyed that, so I'm just like, okay, let's go ahead and check this out. I'll read it at some point. Like, definitely these are all staying. I haven't found any that I was like, why would I read that? So, but this is definitely at the bottom of the list currently because it's not, like, it was good, it was fun, but I preferred the other two better.
I love the way you take control. You lift me up when I get low. I gave you the right of way. Now I'm seeing sideways. But even when Saturday ends, I know I'll see you again. I don't wanna feel the night. I just wanna chill under the northern lights with you. With you, I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Books to talk to you about. I have read 4 more of the books. I've got 3 left. We're going through 10. So I have Well Met by Jen DeLuca. This was fun. I liked the setup of it. Like, don't fall, thank you. The setup was super cute. Jen was really quick to set up, like, the initial situation and the relationship between our main character, her daughter, and her sister. Basically, the main character is, she's moved to her sister to live with her sister because her sister was in a car accident, and then she's helping take care of the daughter who's 14, and also help take care of her sister because her sister is not able to, like, move around very easily. Her niece is wanting to do a Ren Fest, and because of the rules of the Ren Fest, any kids under 16 have to have a guardian or someone else, an adult volunteering with them, which is how she ends up getting roped in. The one thing that I had to say was that, like, they're acting like someone died in this car crash, and it doesn't sound like her sister and her niece both made it out alive. And it sounds like they were the only ones in the car. So I don't understand why they're, like, tiptoeing around the car crash, because I've had friends that have been in serious car crashes. They don't not talk about it the way that our main character is not talking about it with her sister. I get that it might be a touchy subject when she's trying to get her to do stuff, but I do not understand this. I don't understand it. I also started reading Sophie Kinsella's Confessions of a Shopaholic. I thought that this was interesting. I will definitely, like, read it at some point, I think, but I don't think I need to keep this one because it's very 2001-esque, bubbly, over the top. Like, you know those 2000s rom-com movies where you have the ridiculously, like painfully naive main character that's like, oh, it'll all work out, everything will be fine. That's what we're doing here. I think I could enjoy it. I just don't think that it's going to be an all-time fave. And then we also have Beach Read by Emily Henry. I liked the setup of this. The meeting between the female main character and the male main character, fantastic. They don't even know yet. They don't even know. Oh, I'm sorry. I should probably tell you what this book is about. We have our main character, Becky. She works at a finance magazine, and she's in a whole lot of debt, and the bill collectors are calling, and I don't know how she's gonna solve it, but it's a little close to home. No, thank you. Not in this economy. I'd rather not. This one, we are following January. Yeah, we're following January, and her dad has just died, and she is moving into the little cottage that he lived in, or like a little house that somewhere in Michigan. He owned a home that he was using to have affairs in with his mistress. She's had her entire worldview shattered in the last year since her dad died. And she's found all of this stuff out about him. And she is also an author who is dealing with writer's block. And she's moved next door to what I know is going to be her big rival when it comes to writing. And I know they agree to swap novels, and I'm looking forward to that. That is going to be fun. And then the final one that I picked up was The Marriage Game by Sarah Desai. This is about Layla. She's just been dumped by her boyfriend. Well, no, she dumped her boyfriend because he cheated on her. She's come from New York to San Francisco to move back in with her parents, and she's going to be opening a little, like, recruitment business, like where she finds employees for people in the office above her parents' shop. Her dad has a heart attack at the very beginning, and so I know that there's a guy that's supposed to also be renting that office, and I know there's going to be some crossover between them. That's who the love interest obviously is, but this was cute. It was a bit long for me, but I still, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna have a great time with this one. Rankings. So I think Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, I think, is still going to stay at the top as far as one I want to read the most. After that, I think we've got we've got Well Met, we've got Beach Read, The Marriage Game, Ophelia After All, Starry Eyes, and then Confessions of a Shopaholic, as far as order of how much I want to read each of them. So I have 3 more books to read. I might have them done before I leave on my trip. I might not have them done before I leave on my trip. I don't know. Gotta go pack now though for a little bit, and then I might be back.
I just wanna chill under the northern lights with you. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Save me, keep me from floating away. Blue dream, baby, you leave me with nothing to say but I don't wanna feel the night. I just wanna chill under the northern lights with you. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Sadie, save me and keep me from floating away. Blue dream, baby, leave me with nothing to say but
I'm gonna save the final ranking for when I do the outro and talk about everybody all at the same time, but I wanted to capture my thoughts on these now while I am thinking about it. So first off, you guys saw me read The Trouble with Hating You by Sajnit Patel. I'm liking the concept of it. I think this is gonna end up being kind of low in the rankings though, because I don't know, I'm conflicted. There is some stuff that could be I think this could be a good one for me, but from the first chapter, I wasn't grabbed as quickly as I was by the next 2 books that we have. Partly because these are both in series that I already know and I already enjoy. I already know I enjoy the authors, all of that good stuff. There was some stuff in the very beginning of this where it feels like someone missed some things in editing. That is my biggest takeaway, besides the fact that we hate her dad. There are some things with the timeline as she is going to her parents' house, where it's but then she's somewhere else, and I don't understand. I couldn't, I tried to figure out, okay, what is she, but, she says she's at her parents' house, and then she says she's driving to her parents' house. That confused me. Once we got to her parents' house and got through that first thing, I loved the little, it's not a meet cute, it's a meet ugly. It is not a good moment for either of them, especially not for her. But also, I really, it's such a good, I enjoyed that as a move. that, like, she's like, no, I've set a boundary here. You have violated that boundary, which means I'm leaving. I'm gone. I'm not going to stay here. I don't care if it embarrasses you. You set this boundary. You did this to yourself. I kind of appreciate that. I like that. I enjoyed that. So I, like, definitely glad that I have this. I'm just not sure it'll be something that I'm getting to. If you guys want to see me read some of these, let me know in the comments, because, like, I'd be more than happy to do a vlog of me reading these, like, a few of these books. One of them I've already, that's going on a trip with me, so that won't happen. The next one that I read was Undercover Bromance by Alyssa K. Adams. So this is the sequel to the Bromance Book Club. Yeah, the Bromance Book Club. We are following one of the only single character that we had in the last one. Like, I love that this guy's just like, hey, I like reading romance novels, so I'm gonna do this, basically. He does not. He can't make relationships work. And he catches his friends making a bet that I should tell you what this book was about. This is about a biomechanical engineer that her dad has been continually, like, her family is trying to get her married, and so she shows up at her parents' house after having, like, thinking it's just going to be the three of them, and it turns out that they're trying to set her up with a guy named Jay Shaw. And so it's not a great meeting for both of them. They end up, like, rolling around in the grass because she bowls right into him trying to escape her parents' house. But a few weeks later, she is going to he's going to show up at her workplace because he's supposed to be helping them. He's a lawyer. He's supposed to be helping them with something. That's what this one was about. Helps if I tell you. This one, we are following Mac, and he is, like, cannot make relationships stick. Like, he'll date someone and then they'll just won't be the right person. He is currently in a relationship that's lasted 3 months, which is the longest that we have seen him in a relationship for. He catches his friends making bets for, like, how long he is going to be in this relationship, and he's like, fine, I'm gonna stay with this person. It's the first chapter. We know that's not going to be the thing that happens. It was really fun watching the guys go to the bookstore and buy these like, go and, like, find this little romance section at the back of their bookstore and all of that good stuff. Really am excited to continue reading this series, so that like really does help with some of the intrigue as to whether or not I want to read it. And then the other one that I read is Party for Two by Jasmine Guillory. Jasmine Guillory never lets me down. I was laughing by the end of this first chapter. We're following Olivia Monroe. She is the sister of one of the characters in the previous book. Do not remember off the top of my head which book that is, and I don't own all of them, so I can't check that for you. But basically, she's just moved back to, I believe it is, well, no. She grew up in the Bay Area, she moved to New York, and now she is moving to LA to start her own law firm. She ends up having this little moment in the bar with a guy that she vaguely recognizes, but can't quite place him. She assumes that he's, like, a C-list actor, that she just never, like, she's maybe seen him in the background, that kind of thing. They have a really great meeting about desserts, and she gives him a lot of information that I'd be like, I don't know that I would be, like, I can see giving them my phone number, but, like, she's like, oh yeah, can you recommend some places to eat, and, like, this is the area of LA where I will be living, and maybe I'm just vastly overestimating, like, how big LA is and how hard it would probably be to find someone in LA, but I'm just like, I would not be telling someone the neighborhood in which I am going to live or the part of LA in which I am going to live, even if I was trying to get, like, not a random dude that I met at a bar in a baseball cap. I mean, like, we know it's gonna work out because this is a romance and he's cool. Turns out he is a U.S. senator. He's the senator for California. And there's going to be some stuff happening with that. We ended the chapter with her seeing him on the news as he is talking about trying to solve LA's homelessness problem. So I'm really excited about, like, that's going to be a plot line that we're going to be covering. But this was fun. This was a good time. I had so much fun just with that first chapter. Like, so good. Like, right away grabbed me. Right away I'm like, oh, I'm here for this. Like, just had a great time with this. I'm going to go sit with these books and figure out my final ranking, and I already know which one I'm taking on the trip with me. You probably already figured out which one it is, but you'll have to wait for the next clip to actually know for sure. And we are back. Welcome. We are going to be doing my final ranking of all of these books. I've thought about it. I've already been on my trip and already taken one of them on the trip. You'll know, like, the number one book is the one that got taken on the trip. Out of all of them, it was the one I was most interested in. Starting at the bottom, we have Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. It's not that I wasn't interested in the book, but the writing style and all of that, I feel like just not something that is going to be for me on a regular, like it's not going to be one that I'm going to want to keep in general, like just reading that. So I just was like, why not just get rid of it now? This is the only one that I could say that I am fully disinterested in. If I never get to it, it's not going to change my life. So I figured that's a good reason to unhaul it, especially since I am trying to unhaul some of these books. After that, we have Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett. I was mildly intrigued by this whole kind of almost Montagues versus Capulets thing that they have going on between the two main characters, or between Zori and Lennon. I definitely didn't dislike it. I just think that I'm going to need to be in a specific mood to read this. Like, I wasn't as interested, and I find myself not as interested necessarily in YA contemporaries. I still want to get to this at some point, which is why it is staying, but it's not high on the list of priorities. If it's a readathon or something like that, we'll get it. After that, we had Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie. I had a good time with this first chapter. The main character is crisising, and I love to see a character crisising. Again, it does, like, the fact that I am reading more adult romances and more adult fiction kind of puts it lower on the list, because I feel like there are certain things I want out of my romance these days. I definitely want to get to this at some point, but I think I'm going to save it for my next Swiftie Authors vlog. After that, we have The Trouble with Hating You by Sajni Patel. Of the remaining books, this one was my least favorite based on the first chapter. Like, there was a lot that was going on there. I was very intrigued by, like, this relationship, like, or the idea of these two characters meeting and having to work together. Her fighting with her parents was not hitting right. Like, I just, not because, like, that's not a valid reason. I just was so angry. This is another one that I think I'm gonna have to be in a very specific headspace to want to read it, and just because I'm going to need to be in a headspace where I can put up with her dad, it's a point. It's just not what I am wanting to read right now. Maybe at a later, like definitely at a later date, but not right now. In the 6th spot, we have The Marriage Game by Sarah Desai. This looks like it's going to be very fun and very cute. I cannot wait to get to this one. Like, it is high up on this list, or higher up on this list for a reason. I liked the dynamic and relationship between our main character and her parents, and like, man, it left kind of on a little bit of a cliffhanger in that first chapter, so like that definitely had me wanting to continue on and continue reading. We've gotten to the top 5 now. We have Beach Read by Emily Henry. I just know that she is the relationship between these two is going to be just amazing. I am going to have such a fun time with it, just based on the little bit that I have read in here. I'm so excited. I think this might be my first Emily Henry. Like, it's not really meet cute because they don't actually meet, but like, he definitely knows of her existence by the end of the first chapter, and I was just cackling in that scene because I knew where that was going. I knew where it was going. So very excited to get to this eventually. Undercover Bromance is going to be coming in at number 4. This one I did not want to put down when I was reading the other day. Like, I didn't want to put this down. I love this series so much. I had a great time with the Bromance Book Club, and I've been meaning to get to it. I just keep putting it off because Mac wasn't my favorite character, and if you would ask me, did I want Mac or someone else? Like, I would have gone with literally anyone else, but like, having read that first chapter, I'm now excited again to pick this book up. Number 3, we have Party of Two by Jasmine Guillory. This little meet-cute between the two of them was so adorable and so wholesome. Yes, it was a little weird that she was telling him kind of the area where she lived. I would never have done that to a stranger. Everything else was just great. Like, they're bonding over dessert. They're thinking about, like, how do I get this person's number in the elevator? He's kicking himself because she asked for him to write stuff down and he didn't write down his number. It is great. I cannot wait to see what happens when they finally get to meet again and all of that stuff. Now, is she going to track him down? That's the question. Like, is she going to track him down, or are they going to just naturally meet together because what she does? After that, we had Well Met by Jen DeLuca. This one almost went with me. I just got a good vibe from that first chapter. I loved our main character. I love the relationship that she has with her niece and her sister. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm one of those people that when you're on AO3 looking for fanfic of your ship because you're waiting for the next season or the next book or whatever, I love me those like relationships where one of them has a kid and like, or is like responsible for a sibling. I love that trope so much. Now, the good news is her sister is still alive in this one. Usually in those fics, when it's like the niece or the brother or whatever, someone is dead. So her sister is still alive, so that's good. I'm very excited for this one. Also, I'm a Runfair girly. If I had not already had other books that I had to take with me, this would have come with. And then our final one, the winner, which you have probably already deduced from just process of elimination, we have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This was great. I had such a fun time with that first chapter. Talia Hibbert can do no wrong at this point. I have yet to read a bad book by her. I have yet to read a book by her that I don't like. Those two things are not the same, by the way, because like, you can not like a book and still think that it is a good, well-written book. See my Swifty Authors vlog if you're looking for more on that and how that's affected me. Highly recommend it. This one was cute. This was like second chance romance without one of them being an absolute douche nozzle and like making you go, why are these two getting back together? It's just like little friend breakup when they're babies and then they're trying to like process feelings. Stand out, the winner of the crowd. I'm very glad that I ended up picking this one and had a good time reading it. Like, fantastic. Which one would you have picked? I'm curious. Like, if you had been me, which is the one that you would have been like, okay, this is going in my suitcase? I'd love to get your input on that. Also, if you are interested in me doing another one of these, I could probably do one with all of the fantasy books that are up on my bookshelf or up on my physical TBR. That would be a much longer video. Yeah, guys, that is so much fantasy. I don't think I have any other genres up there that I have enough of. Like, I have one or two of the other genres, so if you would like to see me suffer, I guess let me know in the comments if you want me to do this again, but for all of the fantasy books on my physical TBR. Speaking of fantasy and science fiction, I'm gonna pop up my most recent fantasy reads up there so that if you're looking for something else in a different genre, you can check that out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we'll talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye! If I look like I'm dying, it's because I am. It's so hot right now and I had to turn the fan off to film.